Good afternoon and welcome to the first of 6 events that we're doing for investor pitching, what we call investor matching sessions between a select bunch of deep tech VC funds and a number in any particular session, 5 or 6, in this case actually 7 startups from Bind 4.0's current batch. Just to explain Bind, if you don't know it, you should, but just to explain what they do, it's Bind is a industry 4.0 deep tech accelerator program that is quite specific in that it works very much in open innovation. So basically there are a load of corporate partners that launch or that contract, better said, the services of the startups within the batch, in thereby adding obviously innovation into their processes and at the same time validating the technology that the startup offers. This is obviously very interesting for investors because one of the things about deep tech is that often you don't have commercial validation. So today what we're doing is we're presenting 7 of the startups to 2 specialist deep tech investors, and I'll just bring them on screen. So we have David Sola from Caixa Capital Risc, and we have José Luis Gómez from Bullnet Capital. So hi David, hi José Luis. So really the floor's now all yours. So David, if you'd like to go first and just sort of talk people through Caixa Capital Risc, and then José Luis, if you could do the same with Bullnet Capital.
Thank you, Tom. It will be a pleasure. So thanks for counting on us to join this session. Really excited to see the projects. I've seen some of the information you shared with us, but of course talking with the founders will be really exciting. So from my point of view, I'm part of Caixa Capital Risc, and we are a venture capital based in Barcelona, and we are part of Criteria Caixa. Criteria Caixa is an investment holding that manages all the assets of Fundació La Caixa. And Fundació La Caixa, at the end, it's an NGO doing different kind of social activities, let's say, bringing money to society in different activities related to research, related to culture, related to child poverty. So many different activities that the Fundación does thanks to the money that the Criteria brings to it. And Criteria has to manage all the assets of Fundación. It has different kind of assets. It has real estate. It has investment in different listed companies, and it has venture capital. That is what we do at Caixa Capital Risc. We've been doing it for more than 15 years. I've been here for more than 8 years. And nowadays we are a multi-stage VC fund focused on B2B, mainly SaaS business model, and also in deep tech. And when we talk about B2B, we're always talking about a sustainable technological competitive advantage. Not that much about marketplaces, not that much. It's always we are looking for a competitive advantage based in technology. To give you two of the latest investments we've done. One is Airline. It's a company based in Portugal and in Brazil, and they've developed a software platform for energy grids management. So at the end, they built a digital twin where the operators and distributors, they can see their entire energy grid, usually high voltage and medium voltage, and they can use it for location, for energy optimizations, for different kind of things, even for controlling the vegetation close to these assets, no? Because it can be a source of wildfire. So somehow they have to manage this also. This is one, and of course they have a strong technological side on it. And another one is Argila, based in Valencia, but with a very global scope. They are an open source platform for data labeling for teams of ML ops, machine learning ops. So again, the technological side is very, very strong on it. We do it basically on seed stage to Series A with tickets ranging from €500,000 up to €3 million first ticket, usually leading or co-leading the investment, looking to have a board seat, looking to have at least 10% of the company, and then with the ability to do further follow-ons on the companies. And nowadays we can do even tickets of 10, 15, even €20 million on companies as a first ticket, or thanks to this, or bringing these first tickets, these seed companies into this later stage.
That's really useful, particularly obviously for deep tech companies that you need to have slightly deeper pockets as an investor. Well, I think you'll like the startups that we have today, because they are obviously very technological, and as I say, they have commercial validation from if only, but some in with other customers as well, but if only from the Bind 4.0 Open Innovation Acceleration Program itself. So José Luis, do you want to talk through Bullnet Capital for the audience?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Tom, for inviting us to participate. It's a pleasure also to be here. So I give you a very brief overview of Bullnet. We are an independent venture capital firm based in Madrid. We've been operating since more than 20 years ago, investing basically in what is now called deep tech companies, even though back then it was not called like that. So we have companies in our portfolio ranging from enterprise software to microelectronics, photonics. Now we're very active in integrated photonics, also medical devices. So everything that has a blend of software and hardware may be a good fit for us. What we do not do is biotech, pure biotech, drug discovery, or energy-related projects, which are quite apart from what we can relatively easily understand, at least understand the business model. We do not aspire to get to the level of competency of the founders, of course. So we are now raising our fourth fund and investing it with a target between 70 and 80 million euros. We have, throughout the years, increased the size of our funds. We raised the first fund back in 2002 of 18 million. Then the second one was 28 million, the third one 43, and now we are aiming for, as I said, between 70 and 80, with the intention to invest in approximately 15 or 18 companies. We're very, very active doing technology transfer. Approximately half of our portfolio companies come from universities in Spain or from research institutions, such as the Spanish Research Council or the Institute of Photonic Sciences in Castelldefels. But we also invest in companies that come from the industry, but as long as they have some kind of technological advantage or technological differentiation, not necessarily in the form of patents. It can also be in terms of expertise or industrial secret. But what we look for is essentially that kind of barrier of entry that makes it very difficult for a much larger organization to replicate or relatively easily copy or replicate what you are doing. And our tickets range from a few €100,000 up to, we can go up to 4, 5, or 6 million euros per company, not in a single commitment, but in follow-on rounds. Our typical deal is what could be a Series A in Spain of around between 1.5 and 2 million euros. But as I said, we can go a bit earlier and do a convertible loan, and with the intention to capitalize it some months later and keep investing in the project. And we are raising the fund and looking for opportunities. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. That's my pitch.
Brilliant. Well, we've gained a little bit of time because we've done that faster than was on the agenda, which is great because we've got 7 companies to go through. So what we'll now do, we'll jump into the companies. Guillermo from 4i, I can see you there in the background. If you could start sharing your screen, then I'll add you to the event with the screen, with your shared screen in a second. And basically what we have 3 minutes pitching for each of the startups. After the 3 minutes, I'll disappear off screen when the startup's pitching, and I'll come back on screen when the 3 minutes are up as a sort of gentle reminder that time's up. If people don't take any notice of me being back on screen, I'll make it slightly less of a gentle reminder. And then we have 6 minutes for Q&A. Again, during the Q&A, I'll go off screen, and either at the end of 6 minutes or when you've finished with your questions and the answers, I'll come back on and we'll jump to the next startup. Okay, so we start off now with Guillermo. I'm not quite sure, because I've got a feeling that Guillermo, you wanted 2 of you to pitch at the same time. Is that correct, or am I making that up? Guillermo, can you hear us? You're muted. I can.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I was mute. It's me pitching, but I have the feeling that I'm sharing the wrong screen.
Okay. Do I remove it? You've there you go. Now it's perfect. Okay, so Guillermo, I'll disappear off, and when you see me come back on screen in 3 minutes, it's to stop you. And then just for people in the audience, if you would like to ask any questions to the startups, do feel free to do so in the chat in whatever platform you're watching this. And we'll show them on screen, and we'll try and get round to answering them. Okay. So anyway, Guillermo, all yours. I'll disappear.
It's 3 minutes, not 4. It's 3, right?
3.
Okay.
3 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay. All right. It's all yours. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. So this is Guillermo Pérez, CEO of Foundry.ai, and we are part of the revolution in conversational AI. The problem that we are trying to solve is that AI is really not available for real-life human-machine interactions. Right? You have somewhat AI for text-based interactions in the cloud, like ChatGPT, but when it comes to brick and mortar, there's no solution for that. The solution is our platform, Divivo, which stands for Dialogue, Vision, and Voice, which allows for voice and vision communication running on the edge. There are a number of technological differentiators, too long a list to detail right now. We have clustered them together in 3 groups. Like with Divivo, you can bring more robust solutions, more cost-effective, and it has also a set of advanced capabilities that you cannot find elsewhere. I understand that this might be a little bit too high level, like a general purpose platform, so let me bring it down to earth with some use cases. We are working in Industry 4.0 with big names like Airbus and Mercedes-Benz, PSC, Skylight. What we are doing there is building voice assistants for blue collars that can interact with the IT systems with the backend through voice, with some savings estimated up to 50% of the time. This is the team behind Foundry.ai. The most significant point probably is that we have done it before. Like we were behind Indices, a startup that was also in natural language processing in the chatbot space, and we sold the company eventually to Intel in the United States. We are very active in academia. We have a number of papers. This list is not even updated. We are also sharing with the community some large language models, including Llama 2 for Spanish with 13 billion parameters in Hugging Face with thousands of downloads. We are protecting our IP with patents, 1 already granted, shown here, and 2 more now under study. We haven't really formally opened an investment round. If we do, we are estimating some 4 million euros investment in the next few years, out of which 1 million is already secure through grants. So we would be looking to raise some 3 million euros. I guess I don't need you to no need to convince you about the size of the market in this space in conversational systems and social robotics. Same thing for the growth estimated in the next few years. All the studies are pointing in a massive growth. In terms of route to market, the same 3 pathways that we followed in our previous startup, classical pathways. So first, we do everything. We do also the professional services. We develop the applications on top of Divivo. Second, we go through integrators that they do the professional service, we provide the engine. And finally, fully SaaS, like Dialogflow, where we put the technology in the cloud and like end users develop their own applications. In terms of business plan, of course, forecast, like you would see very similar. slides to this one, I guess. Everybody expects to grow a lot. Nobody has a crystal ball. But in our case, maybe we're a bit more credible in the sense that we are basing our estimations in industry standards, of course, but for unit economics, we have the experience from the previous startup, which again gives a little bit of more credibility. So I went even too fast, I guess. Here we have also two co-founders, both who took care of all the business plan. He has one of these fancy MBAs, and myself and Adolfo, we would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Brilliant. Thank you, Guillermo. Jose Luis, I actually muted you during that because you could hear your keyboard. You've now unmuted yourself, which is perfect. So I'll leave you for the Q&A, and I'll be back in 6 minutes. Okay.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Guillermo.
Thank you, Guillermo.
Of course, 3 minutes is too short, but a lot of questions are there. But just to bring someone on the table, no? You had a use case with Airbus, and I was thinking, how much of a product do you have, or how much easy the implementation of your solution is? This is one. I'm going to make maybe 3. If not, I can bring them back again. Then, first is how much product or how much services is now the solution? And then related to this, how easy is the implementation in the tech stack of your clients? And the other one related to that, which use cases are you planning? Which target are you aiming for? No? Which is the low-hanging fruit you foresee?
I'm going to mute myself because I'm taking notes with the keyboard, so just to avoid you hear the typing.
Yeah. So first question was about product versus project. So actually, this is part of the reason why we might look for investment, is to being able to scale up fastly. In the differentiator slide, I know it was too fast, but I had 2 columns, one for us, where we are today and where we want to be with the money, right? And part of the investment is for that, building the IDE. Right now we are developing it. We are doing the application on top of the engine by ourselves without the right tools. So right now, I would say that your first question is the main problem that we have. It's too heavy in terms of professional services. All our customers are using our IP. That's the good part. So we have checked that there's a need and our IP fulfills that need. The bad side of that is that it requires a lot of professional services, and we ourselves are doing that. So it's not so scalable as of today. That's part of the reason why we need the money. How easy is this to implement a solution? Well, Airbus is Airbus Military and Defense, so it is extremely difficult to implement anything related to their backend. It took us 2 years to integrate with the specific customer that you chose to ask the question was more challenging maybe the others. Right now, without the IDE, without the things that we need to implement, it may take us 3 months, more or less. We expect to bring it down to weeks. Right? That's the goal. And finally, the target, the low-hanging fruits that we might be looking for. So I chose Industry 4.0 because we have Mercedes-Benz, we have Airbus, right? And so this is the low-hanging fruit for us. The other big customer that we have is Honda in Japan through the Honda Research Institute. But with them, we are doing social robotics. So we are applying dialogue system to robots. So it's not exactly the same thing. So again, the lowest hanging fruit would be Honda in industry. That would be the lowest hanging fruit, I guess.
Very different use cases, but at the end, same technology behind it, no?
Exactly. That's exactly the point. That's why it's difficult for me to explain, because it's very high level, as I said. It's a general purpose engine, right? So I try to bring it down to earth with a specific vertical segment, which is, I guess, easier to swallow for the others.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with this. Thank you.
Just another question. You are using your own models, or are you leveraging on third-party software? I mean, open source LLMs, or what are you using exactly?
We are doing everything. Like, well, of course, we don't do foundational models. That's the first thing. Only really big corps do foundational models. We do a lot of fine-tuning the models. We have a lot of expertise, even at academic level, and we are releasing our own models based on open foundation models for some specific domains, for some specific languages. As I mentioned before, Llama 2 in Spanish in Hugging Face is ours. It has thousands of downloads, 7 billion parameters and 13 billion parameters. We developed that. So we have the expertise and we are sharing some of them. We have a more powerful one that we haven't released, and that's the one we're using for our own application.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
And in the Airbus case, I'm going back to this one because it's a difficult one, and from this one, next ones should be easier. Nothing is easy, no, but should be easier.
I mean,
are you working
yeah.
on the edge with them on premise?
Yeah, exactly. It's working on premise on the edge with Airbus military and defense. I mean, I work myself for Telefónica, France Telecom, Intel, like big corps. Like, you know, I have some experience, but nothing compared to Airbus military and defense. It is really, really, really painful in terms of developing something and integrating with the backend system. We had to have a clearance from the Ministry of Defense of Spain just to be able to deploy something on their servers. So yeah, on the other hand, that's a nice competitor's barrier, right? If somebody wants to do the same, sit down and wait for a couple of years.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Perfect. Okay, well, we're just running out of time. So Guillermo and 4i are one that I have very close to my heart because they're from Seville. And I can vouch for them in terms of entrepreneurs. We've seen each other on and off during the years quite a few times. So Guillermo, thank you very much. I'll take you off now, and I'll bring on Neil from.
Oh, you took yourself out, I'm afraid.
Yes.
Sorry, I took myself rather than Guillermo. Sorry, now I'll get rid of Guillermo. Okay, thanks for that. And I'll bring on Neil. And Neil, I'll add to your screen, and it's all yours. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Thank you. Hi, Tom, and thank you. And Marta and Bind 4.0 for organizing this. And hi, David and Jose. I'm delighted to represent 51 to Carbon Zero here. We are a B2B SaaS, and we help corporates fight climate change. We do it very differently to anyone else. We do it with inspiring tech supported by a climate advisory. We are mission driven in that we are determined to save as much carbon as we can, and we're looking to save 500 million tons, which is the same amount the UK kicks out in a year by 2030. We've got amazing early traction, and we've got a highly experienced team, which I'll tell you a little bit about, which makes our proposition quite believable, I think. And we're focused initially on one sector. Our product market fit last year showed that our proposition can cross any sector, but to get traction, we've focused on one particular sector, which is an amazing niche. So if I talk a little bit about that sector, it is the brand, marketing, media, and advertising sector. And some of you might think, well, is that one of the biggest carbon producers? It kicks out more carbon than the aviation industry, twice as much carbon as the aviation industry. How does it do that? Because we have trillions of servers, trillions of adverts, multiple servers, and gigatons of product that gets kicked out in digital advertising. So these advertisers here have net green credentials. They take their credentials very seriously, and they are under scrutiny by regulators, by investors, by employees, and by society generally. And they're putting pressure on their supply chain to deliver. Now, these companies have supply chains everywhere. The one we're interested in is the advertising, marketing, and entertainment one. So all of those big brands will pass their advertising strategies through agencies. These are the big 6, but there are multiple others. These agencies use tech companies, and I know you can't read some of the names in here. It's kind of deliberate in a way because there are thousands of them, technology companies that help place the adverts, and those technology companies place the adverts in publishers such as these. So the supply chain here is the big brands to the agencies, to the tech, to the publishers. It's a hugely underserved sector. It's worth, the SAM is 3 billion. And the SOM that we're after is 150 million. And just this sector alone, and remember, this is our beachhead sector, the one we're starting in. We have an unfair advantage. Firstly, the team. It's myself and Richard. I have 2 exits behind me, and I sold both my companies, global companies, to big media groups. Richard comes from a big media group as Chief of Strategy and Sustainability. And on our team, we have UN advisors, World Economic Forum advisors, and bottom right there, Gilles, who is our head of engineering, who's a climate nut and a technical genius who's looking after the build of our platform, which is very special. The second thing we have, which gives us an unfair advantage, is some amazing partnerships, which are locking out our competitors. A couple of these partnerships I'd like to talk about. One is with GARM. We are defining with them and with other industry leaders what media carbon measurement looks like globally in the future. And every company wants to work with the people defining the standards. So we are there doing that. The second one on there is Sharethrough, a New York-based client of ours who is very serious about their green credentials. And they're trying to make their supply chain greener. And they're offering our platform at cost to their suppliers, and their publishers include people like New York Times, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, BuzzFeed, etc. So we're seeing, by being sector specialists, we're seeing that network effect. The third area of unfair advantage, apart from team and partnerships, is the deep data we're developing. So the platform is being trained every day to understand footprints, solutions, what's working, what's not working, are people achieving milestones, why aren't they? Because our database, our platform, has all of that information in it. So we can lay a LLM across that when we have enough data. We're not quite there yet, but we'll be towards the end of this year, which will allow us to produce some amazing thought leadership. And it also will be useful to policymakers and publishers. Our business model is a B2B subscription. So all of our clients are on 3 years plus. Some we are journeying with to 2030, which is the first big UN timescale date. The subscription contracts are 10 to 150,000 a year. We've never lost a client. We've only been in for 15 months, but we've never lost a client. And in fact, satisfaction is really high. The traction, I can't share the actual traction with you. We have a policy as a company not to share traction publicly like this, but we can obviously in the deck if anyone's interested. But we've had 98% quarter-on-quarter growth on average over the 15 months. So we're 50-50 of our revenue is US and Europe. So that's North America and Europe. And we serve 26 markets. So we're very focused on the North American and European markets. And the SOM that we're talking about doesn't even cover Asia Pacific. If we included that, it would increase it hugely. And we have a fantastic client profile, NASDAQ, FTSE, IBEX listed companies, and others. So the final point, our ambition, and we're on track, but it's early days, is to get to 100 million euros at least by 2030, so 6 years' time. Our planning says we'll hit a GM of 80 plus, operating margin 25%. We take unit economics very seriously. I have done with all my businesses. It's not just about growing customer numbers and gross margins and revenues. It's about growing a profitable business. We'll break even this year. So the investment ask, which over the course of this year and next will be roughly 3 to 7 million euros, is needed purely to scale, not to fund the operation. So thank you. If you can join us on this extraordinary journey, you will help us leave a meaningful legacy as our employees, investors, and clients are doing. So thank you for your time.
So Neil, you went a little bit over, so I'm going to take a minute or two off the Q&A. But I knew that you were going to reach that point where you were talking to the clients and the traction and the valuation. So I let you go. So I'll disappear off now, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes' time. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Neil, for the presentation. I don't know, David, if you want to go ahead, or otherwise I can make you some questions.
Please, José, go on. Thank you.
Okay, just the first one, Neil. Where is your company based?
The company is based in London, and we're looking to, one of the reasons that we want the money we want is looking to set up in US. The traction we have in the US is astounding, actually, because we haven't really actively marketed very much out there. And despite the fact the US generally is behind where Europe is on climate, we're finding there's a real pull from international companies out there and from companies that want to be green, even if the country as a whole is staggering a little bit on that. So there's a lot of traction from the US. So we want to set up there because we know we need feet on the ground there.
Okay. And how many people are you at this moment?
We're 7 people at the moment, full time. And we have 3 or 4 guys working part-time with us. So it's a fairly lean operation. We've got to, the traction that we've got really on a shoestring. And we are ready to scale. We have the MarTech infrastructure. We have the platform. We're building new components of that platform, which make this really interesting for brands, because although there are other competitors in our market, there are other carbon platforms, mostly on the measurement end. There are ERP systems, almost all on the measurement end, and there are consultancies. No one does quite what we do, which is that we pull data in, we pull it in such a granular way that we can help the company hold people to account. We match solutions using AI matching. We match solutions depending on the company's ambitions, budgets, targets in the short term. We can match solutions to their particular criteria, and then we help them reduce. And the way we do that is it increases their success by 70%. So, it's a unique proposition we have. The sector positioning we have is totally unique. The actual transition proposition, we would say, is unique as well.
Thank you, Neil. Well, it's very interesting, no? Because like in another sectors, we see in this one of carbon accounting, first of all, like a wave of generalistic solutions. And then, of course, they can't do everything with this granularity, no? And at the end,
no,
specific companies appear to niche factors, because at the end, this is scope 3, no? For these clients. Of a specific digital advertisement segment. So at the end, do you foresee the channel of selling to these generalistic platforms as one to explore, or are you actually talking to them, or are you not interested in this?
I think there will be a consolidation in the marketplace in a couple of years' time, because there are a number of generalist platforms out there. There's about 200 different carbon accounting platforms in a marketplace which is probably 55 billion. So, it's a big market and it's expanding rapidly because of regulation. So, but there's about 170 companies. Most of those operate at the small business end, or they're involved in things like carbon credits, where they will do a carbon footprint and then they will sell credits to a company. There's only a few of us operating at the enterprise end, and there's only a tiny number operating as specialists within sectors. So yes, we are pretty unique. We have been approached by others at the moment recently in terms of absorbing us, but we're absolutely not there. We have our own ambitions and we want to achieve our own carbon targets. But there will be, to your point, there will be a consolidation of companies that are also brands. They look very similar to each other.
And do you see these generalist platforms as a potential client, not a buyer, but a client, where you sell your scope 3 digital advertisement carbon accounting? Potentially,
yeah. Because the ultimate for our industry, because we're dealing with the big brands, the agencies, the technology companies, and the publishers, the ultimate is to have a corporate footprint and, as you say, a scope 3 footprint of the actual advertising. And that can be very marketable within someone else's platform. So potentially we would do that.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, that was perfectly timed. We just finished those 5 minutes. So Neil, thank you very much for that. David, also Luis, I'd very much recommend you actually to request his deck, because I think when you see the traction, you'll be even more interested in the project. And with that, Neil, I'll say goodbye for the moment. and I'll bring on Rita. Rita, if you could start sharing your screen, and to the others that are there in the backstage, when you see somebody on the Q&A from the previous, there you are, brilliant. The previous is doing Q&A. If you could start sharing your screens too, that'd be great. Okay, I will disappear off, and I'll be back in 3 minutes. Good luck, Rita.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to us. We are Infinite Foundry, and we are a company working in real-time digital twin. We were founded in 2017, and currently we are about 30 employees split between Porto and São Paulo in Brazil. So we have headquarters in both countries and both sides of the world. And our mission is to provide efficiency and innovation in a way that is lean, green, and digital. Very simply put, this is what we do, and we do it with a lot of different industries, and there's been a lot of really great customers and clients that have embarked on this mission with us so far. We started mostly working with automotive industry, then we moved to the aeronautics, but right now we are pretty much working with people in various industries, and we are very happy with the results that we've been able to get with a lot of these clients. To do what we do, we see ourselves as the operational and engineering control, and we see the SAP layer of this, the administrative and business layer of this, has partners. This is why we partner with Accenture and Axians. And in order for our solutions to work, we need cloud to run our solutions. So that's why we partner with Google, Microsoft, Oracle, Huawei, and NVIDIA. And we also need connectivity, which is why we partner with all of the connectivity companies in Portugal. Furthermore, we are part of several tech clusters and startup builders across Europe and South America. Our products can be applied to many different industries. The 3D digital plans that we build under Infinite Foundry can be applied to energy, logistics, building, IT, automotive, aeronautics, and factories. With Infinite Fit Care, we work on 3D digital health for virtual training, recovering from injuries, and having softwares to support trainers' decisions. And with Flash City, we work on smart buildings, smart cities, and training of first responders. There's obviously competition, and it would be naive of us to not mention this. The fact is that our competition exists in the 3 different areas that only us are able to bring together. And we add to this another layer, which is our value proposition, is that we do all of this in real time. So our technology is to build a digital twin from input data. This can be cameras, this can be lasers, this can be an Excel file. We build this digital twin, we show it in Unity, and at the same time, we are performing calculations with our own AI physics-based networks and integrated with OpenFOAM. And these calculations in real time are giving us optimization suggestions. So it's not the data that we are recording and someone else is going to look at it tomorrow. The twin is doing this in real time. This allows us to have predictive maintenance, to have a real-time virtual replica, to have training of operators, coordinating between tasks, and the end goal is to have a connected world. So when our twin is implemented in all factories in the logistics chain, in the entire value chain, we have consistent quality standards, we have enhanced sustainability tracking, and we are also working on sustainability scores that are product and factory specific. We have adaptive production planning, and we have transparency and risk mitigation, because we know all the time what is happening in every step of the value chain. What we ask from you is to help us grow faster. These are the 6 markets that we are looking to expand further into. We want to expand our technology to 50 plus 50 large industrial customers, and we want to shape the future of digitalization worldwide. We want to make it in real time, and we want to make it a digital twin. And so that is our value proposition. That is what we are asking of you. And thank you for having me here.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rita. You also went over a little bit, but I thought I'd let you finish. So I'll disappear off.
Sorry
and
for that.
No problem whatsoever. I'll cut it down, but again, the Q&A by a minute to 5 minutes. And David, Jose Luis, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Rita, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Maybe you could go a dig deeper into the differentiation between your solution and other relevant players, such as the ones you mentioned.
Yes. So our solution is integrated and it's working in real time. So it's a mixture of having a digital copy. It's not a 3D digital model. It's an actual digitalization of reality that we do with lasers, with cameras. And after we have this digitalization, we are running the simulations in real time on the data that we are receiving. So instead of this being data that is being recorded and is being saved and is then being processed, and the result, we only get it tomorrow or in a few hours, we are seeing it in a moment. Imagine an operator who has our digital twin software at the front end on a screen in their station. If there's something that's going to happen with the machine tomorrow, if we need him to know that the quality of that product in specific is not up to the standards that the company has designed, they're going to get a message right away. And they can fix and do something about it right away. They don't have to wait until the product is finished to start over. They can stop in a moment because the twin is telling them, hey, I noticed that this should have 3 millimeters and it's having 3.2.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
As Venture Capital, Jose Luis and myself, we are always obsessed with scalability, and scalability,
Of course,
it's quite attached to replicability. It's having something that somehow you can reproduce with a lower marginal cost. And on this sense, you've talked about different industries, different use cases, predictive maintenance, training. I would like to understand a bit how replicable are these products? How difficult is or how easy it is to bring a new client on a specific use case, and if you are focusing more on specific use cases of all of these that you mentioned.
Thank you for the question. I confess that I did see it coming, so fortunately we do have an answer for that. We see this going in two different ways. So with big companies, with most of the clients that I showed you the logos for, because you can recognize them, everything is very specific, and it's not, it's very unique to these use cases, it's very unique to these customers. We are also working on low-code solutions that are easier to sell and easier to implement, mostly for small and medium companies. And why do we need both of them? The big companies are pressuring the smaller companies to get these implementations because they want to know, the smaller companies are the ones that are working in the value chain of the big ones. And they want to know, they want to be able to trace the entire value chain. So we are working with both worlds at the same time. And the part that we scale, the part that is easier to implement and easier to sell, is the low-code version with the smaller companies. And then the big show-off happens with the bigger companies.
Okay, thanks. And another question, could you tell us a bit more about your internationalization strategy? How do you plan to go to the countries you mentioned?
Yes, of course. So we are already in quite a few countries, and a lot of the brands that we are working with are not the brand in the main country that it's originated from. So for example, Mercedes, we started with Mercedes in Brazil. Now we've moved on to Mercedes in Germany. But we had to make good work with Mercedes in Brazil in order for Mercedes in Germany to notice us, to want to meet with us. That is part of the plan. So all of the brands, all of the sub-brands that we already work in a lot of countries, we want to show them that we are worth talking with the big fish, talking with the original. Regarding the other countries, right now, it has been a lot about going to fairs, being part of international clusters, but some of these markets in some of these countries are very, very hard to get into. There's a big barrier to enter. what we realize is that once we cross this enter barrier, it is much easier to stay. So if we implement our product and these companies see that it works, these markets see that it works, they're not going to look at the competitors even. So that has happened with some of the markets that we've been able to secure, and that's our plan with the rest of the world.
Okay,
Brilliant.
Thank you.
So unless you got one last question, I can let in. I'll let Rita go, and I'll bring on Alberto from Recog Analytics. So thank you very much, Rita. I'm gonna take your screen.
Much.
Okay, bye-bye. And I'll add in Alberto and his screen. Here we go.
Good afternoon.
So Alberto, all yours. I'll be back in 3 minutes, okay? Good luck.
Go. So good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, David, José Luis. I'm Alberto, and I'm the co-founder and CTO of Recog. Let me paint you a familiar picture. You are at the doctor's office, and the doctor is looking at the screen and typing away. You're looking at the doctor, and you're thinking, I hope he's listening to me. Well, the truth is, his attention is not fully on you. It's actually divided between you and the screen. And this is a problem because doctors are not scribes. They don't want to do this. They don't want to be looking at the screen and typing away. They want to focus all of their attention at the patient, but they can't because they have to write down all the information we are giving them, which takes up to 2 hours of their time every day. Imagine that. That's 1/4 of the doctor's time spending writing instead of dedicated to medicine. Government, no, of course, and they are already investing into technology because they know the healthcare system right now is not sustainable with an aging population, and that we really need to make medicine more efficient, but also more human at the same time, right? If we want to have a sustainable future there. That's why we developed Relisten. Relisten is our solution that sits together with you and the doctor in that same consultation, and now picture it. But instead of the doctor typing away and looking like an interview and you looking at the screen, the doctor has the ability to focus 100% of the attention on you, on the patient. And what Relisten does, it generates at the end of the visit automated clinical notes in a structured format, the same as the doctor would, using medical terminology, so it saves them a ton of time. And of course, we do this in a complete secure manner. That way, we get from the status quo, which is a visit constantly interrupted to take notes, into this future right here, where the consultation is shorter. So it also saves time that the doctor can dedicate to explain better to you how to use the medication or how to use your device at home, or simply if there is a need in the system, they could see more patients and thus reduce the waiting time, which of course we know is a big trouble right now. It is a SaaS solution, and our users are doctors. So every doctor in the world is a potential user of our solution, and every hospital or every clinic are our clients. The target market is huge. Imagine every doctor-patient consultation worldwide is a market for us. We, of course, have competition. They are mainly based in the US, and they've raised millions to solve this problem. But we are the first mover and the only solution that provides this in Spanish. We have a very strong and complementary team to match that. We are attracting talent as well. We are already piloting this all around Spain. So in primary care in Catalonia, we are doing this in Clínica Universidad de Navarra in Kun. We are doing this in Rivera Salud and lots of other hospitals and clinics in Spain. So our hope is really that next time you visit the doctor, you will have the doctor all for yourself and don't have to share him with a computer. Looking forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot for that, Alberto. Almost exactly on time. So I'll disappear off and I'll be back in 6 minutes. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Alberto. I can start.
Okay.
Well, on the health tech ecosystem, let's say, we've had some experience, and one of the many struggles there are always that here, especially in Europe and of course in Spain, public health sector is the biggest actor, and usually sales cycles with them and entering into them into a proper contract is quite difficult. How are you?
Yeah, the main advantage that our products have is that the need is so clear that the sale is kind of easy, because every single hospital, either public or private, face that problem. So when we go to a public hospital or a private hospital, it doesn't really matter, and we talk about our product and the need that it fills, it is like a perfect match almost instantly.
But do they have budget? Is for them easy to approve a SaaS subscription with you?
Not always, but we already are piloting this in the public sector of Catalonia. So we hope that this is like the first stone to get into the public sector all around Spain.
Thank you. And I have two questions related to technology, because
Yes.
you mentioned that, of course, you get this unstructured data, this conversational data into structured data. So are you able to integrate with the systems of the public healthcare to bring the different, let's say, checkpoints they need to fill in their platform, or is just the node?
No, we actually work in the structurization of the data. I mean, what our solution output is not like the plain text, but is the data structured in the different fields that each of the specialties and EHR needs. So we are able to modify the structure to match the EHR needs in each of the hospitals that we are working on.
So eventually this data can have a strong value in terms of statistics, or in terms of bringing an assistant layer on it, something like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto. Just another question. Could you tell us a bit more regarding the technological differentiation of your solution? I mean, are you leveraging on third-party models? How are you doing the voice processing, etc.?
Yeah, we actually have like an orchestration of commercial models and proprietary models fine-tuned for our use case, both for the speech-to-text part and for the structuring part, which is a sort of LLM architecture. And we do it in a sort of mixture of experts for each of the sub-application of our product. And related to the competition, the main difference with our competitions, I would say, it lies in the advanced field structuring we offer. Hospitals are, as I said before, increasingly moving towards more structured data every day. So we feel that, and additionally, I think we're capable of quickly adapting to any specialty nuance and even the specific details of each of the hospitals or clinics.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there's any last questions, feel free to fire away. If not, I'll bring on David from Safeloc and say goodbye to Alberto. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, we'll hold our peace. So Alberto, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Just find it.
Have a nice day.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off just as you were saying have a nice day, but sorry about that. And David, I'll bring you on screen, and I'll bring on your presentation too, and I'll disappear off, and I'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay.
Hello, I understand you're seeing a presentation right now. So I'd like to first introduce you to Safeloc. We built real-time location technology. But in the first place, I feel I need to introduce myself. I'm the CEO and founder. I have both experience in technical and managerial experience. Also, I'd like to introduce you to Yvonne, our CTO, who's got quite a long experience in startups and directing and development and operation teams. And also Theid, which is also our co-founder. We are a spin-off of Theid, the technological center of Universidad de Navarra, who developed our technology for 15 years roughly. I'd like to continue with the two questions that our customers make themselves. First one being, what's the cost of a severe work accident for us? And the second one is, how can we compete in a globalized market with a low-cost labor? So how can I be efficient to survive? Well, the answer industry has is putting technology into industry, digitization industry in order to make it safer and more productive. And to do so, they make use of real-time information. This is the raw data that we produce, real-time location data of everything in an industry. The market is huge, is in the billions for Industry 4.0, and we do have competitors, as you can see. This is the important thing. What makes us different is that in very metallic environments, such as manufacturing, in these environments where air radio frequency technologies perform badly, we can perform as our competitors do in ideal environments. And this means that we can install up to 52% less hardware as our competitors. Here I want to show you the projections that we have, both in project sales and also license sales, which are very important because they grow geometrically. And we are looking for raising capital by the end of 2024, beginning 2025, roughly 3 million euros. And we will be putting this money mostly to internationalize the company and develop sales, and also to develop new product features that complement our current portfolio. And well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, David. In the end, you did it perfectly timed. So I'll get rid of your screen, and you've got up to 6 minutes for questions. I'll be back then.
Thank you, David, for the presentation. So wrapping up to see if I made it clear, you have a solution for real-time location based on a competitive advantage because you are using a technology that it's not the mainstream or the one more widely used. Am I right?
We are using ultra wideband, which is used and is the more accurate in the market. But our key advantage is that in very metallic environments, we give 10 centimeters accuracy. This means that we can provide solutions to our customers where our competitors can't when they need this kind of precision. And when such a high precision is not needed, we can provide a solution using up to 50% less of the hardware. This saves huge installation costs and also huge headaches to our customers. The way to scale, I had to eliminate some slide, is through channel partners, sales channels such as Vodafone, IoT, Indra, companies we are currently talking to.
Okay, thank you. So, and do you have any kind of IP protection to this technology?
Our technology is registered and we have a company secret protocol. I don't know the exact translation in English.
Industrial secret, I guess.
Yes, I believe so. And we are studying whether if we can protect it by patent and what's the best way to do so.
Okay. And last, could you give us an example of where your technology now is deployed?
Yeah, we have a proof of concept. We've been 6 months into it with a major steel manufacturer. In this case, it's for a safety solution in order to prevent work accidents when they are loading and unloading trucks. In another case, we are tracking the intralogistics of a big machine manufacturer for them to optimize their productivity and to know that, how they are handling their own processes. Thing is, this technology has many use cases, many applications. That's why our strategy is to scale through the channel partners, IoT, Industry 4.0 channel partners, such as the ones I mentioned before.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you, David.
And another question regarding the pricing. Could you tell us a bit more about how the solution is priced?
Okay, the solution is priced based on the hardware that we supply, also licenses attached to that hardware. There are also licenses related to the software we use to, the algorithm that tracks in real time the devices. We have a software tool that allows us to know where to install the anchors and the antennas that we have to install, and what precisions we are gonna get. This we can offer to our sales channel as a SaaS, software as a service. And finally, there are on top a very little component of customization and services attached to the project. And this part of the pricing, the goal is to be made by our sales channel, so they can capture more value and do these tasks that allow us to focus on other aspects of the technology. So it's pretty complex. It's my answer, but I don't know if I.
Yeah. And do you have some kind of a preferred use case in order to
Well, right now we are seeing that safety is a very well liked use case, but I see in the short term that's the preferred use case for us, but in the midterm, also productivity related use cases are also very demanded by the market, and it's also very interesting for us. And we are going to focus in those two areas, which also cover logistics in a sense on the productivity area. So short term safety, midterm safety and productivity improving use cases.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, David. I'll say goodbye now and bring on Gustavo from Uktena. Here you are, Gustavo. I'll just add in. Okay, and Gustavo, I'll disappear off and I'll be back in 3 minutes. So good luck.
Okay. All right. Hello, David. Hello, Jose. Question. I think everything's fine for you. I am Gustavo from Uktena. What we have is what we developed. It was AI that is capable of learning any industrial process, and after learn, create tutorial based on images and text that is uploaded by video, and then teach this to any worker that you need to have. You need to have to learn this to execute his job, right? The main advantage for that, there is a lot of benefits from it. We almost eliminate the expenses on electric training, so anyone is able to enter the industry and start to work. You have an increase in the labor supply because right now you can contract anyone really, and the thing is, everyone needs experience before, but with Uktena, we are capable of, we prove that, right? We were able to make someone that never executed a job in the industry, is what as maintenance with pump maintenance, for example, and the people can just be there and start to work. So it works really well for this type of things. We standardize the task execution too, because everyone takes a lot of time to do something when they are not learned yet, when they start to work. But with this, we can more or less start to balance out the time for doing a job and the quality of the job also. And I believe that's the most important part for the industry. We can protect the know-how, because right now everyone is hostage of the employees, or hostage of a company, or anything like that.
Gustavo, sorry for interrupting, but I've got a feeling that your
oh no, yeah, you're right. The presentation is not. It's strange that, because I have just one. Sorry about that.
No problem, because I knew you had those pictures of the people using the glasses on the.
Should I stop sharing? Because I only have one screen, and I'm sharing. Sorry, I'm sharing the other screen that I have, but it's not changing.
Okay, well, stop sharing maybe and start again.
Okay,
maybe that's.
Let's try again.
Okay.
Let's find party screen. And
I'll add it.
It's full screen.
That's full screen. Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's working
I'll start afresh. We're a little bit ahead of time, so that's okay. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Thank you for that. All right, we start again, right? So this is Uktena. What we have is this amazing AI that's capable of learning any kind of job, convert this in a step-by-step tutorial with showing images, text, and videos, and then teach this to anyone that needs to do this kind of job, this job that is converted in any kind of industry, really. We are testing in some target markets right now, but we can talk about this later. So the main thing is that we are capable of eliminate the expenses in electric training. With Uktena, in general, when you hire someone, you need to train that people 6 months, 8 months, 4 months at least. And with that, you can just make someone productive from the day one. We can increase labor supply because you don't have to have experience for that. So it's always awesome for people that is starting on the market, in the working market right now. They need to start to work, right? So you can absorb these people that doesn't have experience, and using the AI for that. And we standardize also the task execution, because some tasks takes a lot more time if you have experience or not. And with our proof of solution, for example, will someone need to change this type of modes, this pressing blocks for a ceramic company? People with experience could do it in 40 minutes. People without experience, it took at least 4 hours to do the same swapping modes. And using Uktena, we experimented just put the glasses, go there, and start to work with the tutorial that you have, and could do it in the same 4 minutes. So it works really well. And we also protect the know-how of the company, because right now, if you have someone that knows how to do the job all around the plant factory, right? They know how to do it. They have experience. They have 20 years or 10 years of experience. When these people go, when these people has vacations, or when they are not available for any reason, and this knowledge is not with you, not with the company anymore. So with Uktena, we're capable of preserving this practical knowledge that people have and pass it to everyone that need it. One other thing, how we work, right? We are a multi-device company. We can work with mobiles, mixed reality glasses, smartphones, tablets. We can integrate with management systems that are already existing on the industry. And we are working as a SaaS business. So it's easier to implement. People has is easy to implement and easy to start working in almost one day. Uktena is already working for the industry. We have a team right now, and it floats between 11 and 40 people. We have someone who's part-time, but our places is the products already developed, so we are not maintaining and start to escalate our selling.
Gustavo, I'm gonna have to stop you there. If you've got one last slide that you'd like to show, then
no, I have one. It's about the seed round that we have right now. We have committed, already committed for us half of our expected investment of 7,000, right? But that's it.
Brilliant.
Lots of slides.
Thank you. Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, I'll take you off screen. Sorry, I won't take you off screen. I'll take your screen off screen, and I'll be back in 6 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Gustavo. One question regarding the training process. How is it performed? Who does perform the training? The initial material that they are going to use later for the training of the new
the registering of the recording, right? The recording of the job is done while on the job. So you just need to use or a pair of glasses, mixed reality glasses, or a mobile phone to register. And the only thing that the worker needs to do is explain the task as it was for someone that's just starting doing the job, right? Explain for someone that needs to know how to do it, and that's it. Then it's passed to a series of AI systems and automatic systems that clean the audio if there is a two-noise environment, converted in text, select the better image to represent that step, separate the video clips for each step also, because some steps is better to do it with a video clip, something that's more than one simple step, and others you can just with an image resolve everything. This is transferred to a cloud and then accessible for any device. You muted.
Sorry. Thank you. So you have, of course, the software platform, and do you provide the AR glasses to do all this training, or how does it work, the business model?
Yeah, this is the platform of the application is multi-device, right? So it can work with any device on the market. What we do, we recommend the client to use, for example, HoloLens on the first trial that they have with us, and after a period of 6 months, then we can calibrate. Oh, you can stay with that, or you can change the glasses, but the client can buy the glasses. We do not sell glasses. We can sell it. We have a partnership with Microsoft to sell the glasses, but we prefer that the client to do it because it's faster, really. If I sell something as a provider, it took 1 week for the glasses to arrive. If you buy it as a company, it arrives the next day. So there's no reason for us to be there, right?
Yeah, because I'm thinking about more smaller companies. Is it deal breaker sometimes, this hardware?
Yeah. Not at all, because right now the glasses is not the core of the business. The business is the AI, because the smaller companies are the most suffer more with this problem. If someone goes away, you lost everything, right? So smaller companies you can register with a mobile phone, and you can see all the application, you can see all the results of the AI on the mobile phone too. The glasses is a plus. For example, you can use it as a hands-free device, right? To have some kind of job that you need to do, and to have your hands free. But if you're capable of putting a tablet, as we have in some companies in there, Guriak, for example, has a production line. They have tablets installed, so they can use it pretty well.
Okay, thank you. So now I understand better. It's not that much about the device you are using. You can use any kind of device.
Yep.
Your core business isn't about how you clean and you process all this training data to digest it in a more suitable way.
Yeah. The thing is, everyone has every one of us, we work with AI in the future. We are working right now, or we'll be working in the future, right? Uktena wants to be on the point that she's the AI for the workers. You have your personal AI for work with you on your day-to-day basis, but you have the AI that assists you on the company. So Uktena is this one. You can, he knows what you have to do. He knows how to do your job and explain to you how to do it better.
Yeah, thank you.
And just a question about the security, because at the end you are processing the information. I mean, not exactly data, but the information about your customers on how they are performing their operations, and how do you manage to keep that information or that data or that product secure?
Each one of them are on separated virtual machines. The information never exchange hands in any time of the process. So if you are in Pharma, you have yours, Roca has yours, theirs, and they work separated all the time. For some companies that really wanted to have this, we can work with them to have this on a personal server, on a particular server. The information that this storage, right? But not the one that's processed, because for this we need a huge AI system that needs to process all the information in about 1 hour or 2 hours, really.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Gustavo. Is any last question? David or José Luis, feel free to fire away, or I'll take Gustavo's screen and I'll bring on Ian from Uali. So thanks a lot, Gustavo. Good pitch. Bye-bye. And I'll bring on Ian. And Ian, if you could start sharing your screen, then I can show that.
Hello, everyone. Here we are. Give a sec. I will start to show my screen.
Perfect.
Ready to go? Lovely.
Yeah, all ready to go. I'll disappear off and I'll be back in 3 minutes. Okay, good luck.
Thank you, Tom. Hello, David. Hello, José Luis. How are you? Well, let's talk a bit about Uali. Actually, the name Uali came from Disney movie, where you have a simple and agile robot, actually, very happy, and that is how we want to try to visualize the robotics. And what we do or what we say when we talk about robotics and AI, part of the main problem that we are trying to attack is affordable energy prices. So how robotics go to affordable energy prices. So part of the budget of produce energy came 40% from the operation expenses. And operation expenses is mainly routine tasks making by people around the world, in the ocean, in the desert, in forests, that actually grows very linearly, very straightforward. When you have many assets to produce energies and you need more energy, the world requests more energy, you're going to request more people for inspect them. So we are in a dead end, sorry. So part is like, okay, how we integrate technology to reduce that gap, at least, and to get more affordable energy prices. Part of to do that is like automate from the physical task until the knowledge part of inspection with robotics and AI. So it's very logical, right? The thing is make it possible. We have 3 different ways how to do it. Once you have to replace a physical task that is making in the real world with different kind of devices. Once you get the data how you want, you need to put in some logic on it, right? It's where the AI starts to work their place. And then for decision makers, you need to export or deliver that data from a really easy way to understand what's going on 1,000 kilometers away from anywhere. So that is part of how to make energy more efficient. part of what we do and how we do is to offer this business model end-to-end. We offer the operational devices, we offer the AI and process the data, and we offer also delivery, very UX and easy to understand in any part of the world, everything remotely. That's why we start to make automated asset inspection through all the crossovers of our energy production, energy from oil and gas, renewable energy, and distribution of that energy. And then last year, we start to create like how we could still growing without being the site, right? Because someone else are investing that capex, the clients, the devices. But at the end, they request of technology to process that data from the field that is a lot, tons of gigaterabytes of video, picture, different kind of data to still take decisions. So part of that, we are in a stage like we already detect case studies. Okay, we inspect 10,000 wind turbine blades looking for corrosion, or quantify or methane through different oil and gas assets to understand how much they leak for offsetting. So many tasks that have to be scalable. So that is part of what we're doing right now, and what we're going is like a scale. So and to close your page is like we are making that possible. The same case study, different client, different regions, and part of the challenge that we are facing is like how to try to be really global, from technology speaking, from economics speaking, but to maintain the KPIs that we want to focus is reduction of OPEX and reduction of CO2 emission from the actual process. So thank you so much. That is what is Wally.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Ian. I'll get rid of your screen, and I'll give you up to 6 minutes for Q&A with David and José Luis.
Thank you, Ian. Because if I'm not wrong, you are doing assets, critical assets, let's say, utilities assets, oil and gas assets inspection by drones, And my question here is, because we've seen some players there, And I would like to understand from your point of view, what is your competitive advantage? Because is it your own drone? Is it your AI algorithms? Where lies your competitive advantage?
Yeah, no, the hardware is a commodity. Here and in the UK, in Europe, in Asia. So you're always going to find someone else to make the better hardware. The hardware is the way you get the data. So you got to be clever, actually, to make that operation the more remotely possible. That is what is it. But actually the value where the clients see, because they actually don't care if it's robots, pigeons, or people. Just if you get the info how you want. But the key question of this is how you process that data. Some people understand that AI is just a concept, or, okay, I put A plus B and give me C. And when you understand how that mathematical formula, you make it to get a more accurate result, is when you key question it is. Just one example, I know we are public, but each time that we enter in a new industry, we need to understand what else we're going to get value that it isn't right there. So just one concept, solar panels. When we enter in solar panels, we detect like all the players with AI, with robots, with drones or whatever, do not detect one thing. There's a tiny box behind the solar panel that I don't know why they never focus with AI. So we try to get how can we catch with a sensor or a camera to get that tiny box that is crucial, all right, and to detect some different deltas. So each time that we enter a new industry, so we need to explain what they need to change an actual process that is made by people or someone else, all right? For this process I give it to you, that should be more affordable, more scalable, and you're going to get more value against the same money that you have. So about competition, right now we are more plenty competition against large players like people like Baker Hughes, Schlumberger, that actually who are competing our contract against the ecosystem of technology. I always say we are actually a really tiny ecosystem. We need more startup on it because the market is massive. So that is actually where we're going and what we are facing in value proposition.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ian, for the presentation. Just one question about your commercial expansion. How do you intend to internationalize more and expand to more countries or regions?
Well, we used to use 3 channels, mouth to mouth, because the ecosystem is very small. I was here in a college, like she started with Mercedes-Benz in Brazil, and then they jumped to Germany. Well, with us happened the same. We started with Shell in Argentina, and then we cross over different regions. But then we only don't depend on that. Believe it or not, many large clients contact us through websites. Through a website, like send an email. That is hilarious. And then through Congress. I mean, we find like mouth to mouth and Congress, it is the best way to get to different clients. The only thing, when you mention expansion for energy sector, they do not discriminate regions. They don't care, actually. Happened to us with a French company. They operate in Latin America, then they want to operate in Africa, and in the end operate in Canada. So for you being a startup, you need to move on with them. So your technology and your deployment need to be very easy to deploy and agile to scale. It is the only way to track the demands when you create it. It's very organic.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
And I've got another question regarding your costs. When you are inspecting the facility, you are using your own hardware or the hardware from the customer to collect the data?
No, we use commodity hardware, like when we say like I'm use Apple or Windows to do some program, we do the same. Actually, very known brands that give you everything that we want for operate, and that's it. And sometimes when the client had already got the hardware, actually they request anyways the technology, because at the end of the day, the hardware, the only thing that create is tons of picture or video. You can do anything with that, anything at all. It depends if you put 1 drone or 5,000 drones or robots, well, whatever, cameras. So you only get data, not information.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The internet connection, I think, has suddenly dropped a little bit, but I'll just bring everybody that's still connected back on screen to say goodbye. So just to thank David and José for joining us today. Thank you very much, and I'm sure the startups have found it very useful. If you'd like us to do any kind of intro to any of the CEOs, feel very happy to let us know. And to those of you that are still connected online right now, or that see this later on recorded, we'll be back on the 12th of April with Draper B and Abac Nest at 12 o'clock CET. So, guys, thank you very much. David,
thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
See you all soon. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.